I love Transformers. For years, I've been obsessed with them. But throughout my collecting journey, I have tried to get into other stuff. It just didn't hit the same. I did like it, but after a few days or weeks, my interest just faded. There was nothing that could give me the same high that Transformers gave me. Until now. I occasionally watch reviews of Godzilla figures, so I've been accustomed to brands like Hiya Toys and S.H.MonsterArts, but I've never had the desire to buy one. However, I saw a KO of the S.H. Figuarts Kong on AliExpress. It was $11 at the time, and so I just got it out of sheer curiosity. Little did I know that was the start of another addiction. Because this KO is amazing. He is completely covered in this realistic, really nice fur texturing. It is very, very good. It's just so nice to look at him from any angle and any place. There are no areas that are plain or flat. Though he is lacking in paints. I mean, there is paint on the body. I don't know, I can't really tell, but I am pretty sure that it is painted. It's just really, really subtle. Maybe I'm just too used to the colors on Transformers, because this just looks completely unpainted to me. The subtleness of the paint just goes completely unnoticed. However, I know that the chest scars are painted, and I do think that's pretty cool. But the paint on the face is unfortunate. The eyes on both heads are just so off. And the mouth on the alternate head is sloppy. I guess that's the price I pay for getting such a cheap KO. And regardless, I am happy to accept this compromise. It's not really noticeable from a distance, and it's pretty funny, not gonna lie. And the overall appearance is just so good. Just the presence he gives off is so nice. I love to leave him on my desk and just bask in his aura. But I'm not too sure how accurate he is, but I'll put a picture up next to him so you can check. Putting accuracy aside, the actual proportions are really nice. The shaping and size of everything really works. And there's nothing that I could suggest to improve on. Even though the Hiya Toys does look better in my opinion, this is still really nice. The chest is broad, the shoulders are wide, and his butt is popping. My only complaint is not the proportions, but it's how the arms look so segmented. Even though the rest of the body is segmented too, it's hidden well and it flows seamlessly. The arms on the other hand, they do have their obvious breaks. I do think the official does not have this problem, but let me know in the comments if you guys do know. Anyways, here's him next to Megatron, the Galaxy Defender version of him, Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Jetfire. Sorry about that, the only thing I have to compare him with are just Transformers. And while I have the Bumblebee here, I will say that this Kong feels so much heavier. Even for a KO, he is very hefty. And that, combined with the tight joints, just makes him so satisfying to hold and move around. And surprisingly, for a KO, it feels pretty good in terms of quality. But it's not perfect. Some joints are squeaky, panels are very loose, and his right arm keeps popping off. And it does get pretty annoying sometimes. But I'd take that any day over how easily the official breaks. That is so unfortunate, especially for such an expensive figure. Oh, and also, there are some plastic shavings that come off whenever you move him around. It does happen in some joints, but the main place where you can see the plastic shavings is in the wrist connection of the fist, where you can see all of this is just loose plastic shavings. So whenever I put it on and I rotate it, it just shaves off the plastic. Yeah, so hopefully I don't breathe it in, and hopefully it doesn't get worse. But anyways, speaking of hands, the accessories he comes with include open hands, holding hands, fists, hands for walking on all fours, a head with an open mouth, and his axe. Despite the fact that the hands are really hard to take off sometimes, they are all really fun accessories and work very well with him, making him have so many options for posing. At the start of playing with him, I thought the posability was really restricted, but as I got more and more comfortable and tried forcing some joints, I realized the posability was so much better than what I was expecting. I just had to break him in a bit. And after doing so, his posability is really good. He has all the joints you need with a lot of different movement options. That means you can get him in so many poses. It is very, very fun just to mess around with, and I really enjoy moving him around. The only two things I would improve on is a deeper knee joint, and the second thing is not related to posability actually. It's just how he falls over due to his lack of heels. It's not that big of a deal though, and it's only annoying sometimes. And I do understand why they didn't do it, because he is a gorilla, but still, posability is so good, and I have so much fun playing with him. So overall, this surpassed my expectations by a long shot. It is so much fun, and it's so solid. And I would actually recommend getting this over the official S.H.MonsterArts Kong. I just wouldn't risk getting that one due to the breakages. This figure is definitely a must buy in my opinion, and I absolutely love him. So much so that I got Hiya Toys Shimo. And the first thing that came to mind when opening him was the paint. When I was watching reviews of this, it just seemed like his body was just a normal white. But in person, the entire body is actually covered in this beautiful pearlescent white. You just can't get the same experience on video. And that blue is even more beautiful. There is an insane, perfect gradient from purple to blue. The transition is so flawless. And again, it is much better in person. I personally would take this over the clear plastic on the S.H.MonsterArts figure any day. This is literally the best painted figure that I have ever seen in my entire life. The sheer paint quality alone has made me obsessed with these types of figures. It is just that good. Alright, it sounds like I'm glazing this guy, but trust me, you can't understand it until you see it in person. It looks so good that it is actually out of place with Kong, and with other figures too, like Megatron, Bumblebee, Optimus, and Jetfire. And to top it off, the sculpting is amazing. He's covered in these really nice scaling detail that is just all over him. It is beautiful. The sculpting is probably on the same level as Kong though, but the way they painted it just adds so much depth and it makes it stand out even more. And so, the amazing paint and sculpting just work together to provide a really good presence. And he does stand out a lot. I think out of all of the Hiya Toys and all of the S.H.MonsterArts figures, this is my absolute favourite appearance-wise. The only thing I didn't like about the design itself was the head. It did look sort of stout and strange, but not gonna lie, I've gotten used to it and I really like it now. As well as him looking good, he also feels amazing. He's just so heavy. This was my first official figure outside of Transformers, so I had no idea how heavy he would be. But he has such a nice, satisfying feel in hand. He feels so much heavier than any of my Transformers. And most of the joints are very nice as well, where just like with Kong, you do have to break him in a bit. But at the start, this back abdomen joint was really stuck for me, and so I had to force it a bit too hard. And I do have a paint chip as a result of that, which does make me think that that was the reason why it was so tight. It was because this section was sort of caught in the joint, which is pretty unfortunate. And the same thing applies to the other joints as well. You do need to move things around to free him up. Nothing is loose per se, but I do wish that the rear ab joint and the leg joints were a bit more tighter, especially because he can get in a nice bipedal pose, and these joints are a bit too loose to be able to support all that weight. And speaking about putting him in a pose, posability is very nice. He has all the joints you really need. It's not as good as Kong in terms of options and range, but you could still pull off some very nice poses. The range on everything is nice, but I just wish they had more range in the tail. It is nice though how they are able to make the movement look really natural. And I was also gonna complain about how you can't move his head up that much, but there is a really nice workaround, so I guess I'll take that back. I also appreciate that they gave us posability in the front hands, but me personally, I don't really care about that. I think it's a lot of hassle to deal with. And while we're focusing on the hands, one of his nails are slightly bent, I know it's not a big deal, but it does trigger me slightly. And as for accessories, this is what he comes with. I do wish they included a blast effect. I think that would be so cool. Or just maybe some ice effects for his feet or something. Hiya Toys are definitely going to release another one with a blast effect. Just like what they did with King Ghidorah and Godzilla. And I am gonna be sad when they do. But for now, I am more than happy with this Shimo. And so overall, do I recommend both of these guys? If you're a fan of these designs or of the movies, then I definitely recommend it. Both of these figures are amazing and I just adore them. Out of the two of them, Kong is definitely a lot more fun to play with and mess around with. And he's cheaper too. But on the other hand, Shimo, even though he is less fun to play with, he is just gorgeous. And he makes for the perfect statue piece. I am so glad that I got these two. But I would be even more glad if you subscribed. Thank you guys for watching all the way until the end. And I hope you have a good day or night.